Hi, welcome back to Metal Rules TV, where the underground meets the playground. I'm Jeff Rappaport.
I'm Joey.
I'm Matty Matt.
And today our special guest is...
Daniel Horne.
Alright, of... What's your band? I'm just kidding. I think you're the first person that's not in a band to come here, right?
Perhaps. Yeah. Well, no, the booking guys.
Oh yeah, okay. That's true.
You're way cool. You're a lot cool.
So I guess the first we're going to start is, you're a famous artist. I'm like, what sparked your interest in art to begin with? How did it all begin?
Odd enough, it came with the Catholic Church. Yeah, I used to see the Stations of the Cross. They were carved, like in the cathedral during Mass, and they told a story, and I was always intrigued by that. How you could follow the story. And then I grew up in Pittsburgh, and then the Carnegie Mellon Museum had a life-size diorama of two Bedouin hunters on the back of a camel. Now, these were life-size in a glass case, and there were two lionesses attacking this camel, and its claws were like digging into the haunches, and there was like spit coming out of the camel, and one of the Bedouin
Church is very violent.
Had a rifle and was firing at the lioness, and just the reality of that story. That's kind of how I just always wanted to tell a story and express that in like visual terms. Yep.
That's an unexpected answer. I like that.
That's probably the best answer we've ever had to any question.
Now, I'm guessing, but I'm assuming you do this for a living, or for a living? I mean, you don't have another job, you do this as your full-time gig?
For 33 years.
When did you know you'd be able to do it for a living, and how did you start?
You tell that to my wife. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll call her.
I guess out of art school, 2 months out of art school, I got my first illustration job. I used to do the Hardy Boys book covers and things like that, paperback covers, a lot of Dungeons & Dragons stuff. And I've been self-employed ever since.
You did some of those manuals and stuff, didn't you? Dungeons and Dragons manuals?
Really? That is amazing, really.
Yeah, back in the 80s, yeah. Did posters for Marvel Comics. A lot of, actually, all of the package design from the first 3 Batman movies.
Yeah, I was telling my wife about that, yeah.
The toys. I did all the artwork to go, the blister card art, stuff like that, so.
I remember you were working on that when I was at Fat Tracks. I remember you telling me about that. And I was telling Maria about that earlier today. Did you have some problem with some Crystal Dino or somebody didn't like the way they were portrayed?
Yeah. The funny thing about how that the action figure stuff works, the actors have likeness approval, and it has to go through DC, Warner Brothers, the director, their agent, and then the actor. And everyone approved it except for Chris O'Donnell, because he thought this is a direct quote, he thought his lips needed to be more rosebud.
That makes sense?
Exact words.
His lips need to be more rosebud.
Yes.
Rosebud.
Rosebud.
That's an interesting word, Chris.
Yeah.
Like a
Interesting word, guy.
Wasn't
Back him in this.
that from the Orson Welles movie?
That was the sled.
Yeah.
It was like a sled.
It was like the last word in the movie, right?
Yeah. Now you actually started off, I'm not sure if this is right, but you started off as painting and then you got into sculpting, right? Later?
Yes, I was trained as an illustrator. Sculpting I kind of picked up about 10 years ago, and I guess it's one of those things. My mother was a doll maker, and my grandmother was a doll maker. So the 3D stuff was kind of always there, but I never pursued it. But yeah, about 10 years ago, I just kind of picked it up, and there you go.
I remember I was amazed, because I remember seeing how great your painting was, and all of a sudden you were sculpting, like, oh, I'm sharp sculpting, and you're like, wow, he's awesome at it. Like, all right. I just automatically, I'm great at this too. I'm like, oh, okay.
You're like, no, I suck.
What did you do poster-wise? You said you did posters for Marvel?
I did, yes I did.
That's awesome.
And I did a Thor poster.
Oh, that's okay.
And Spider-Man crawling down the wall. And actually, that image I did for them was the most used image of Spider-Man. They did T-shirts, posters, backpacks. It was on their MasterCard,
That's
on their
crazy.
ties. Of course, I didn't get any of it, but.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got screwed like
You know,
I
that's my
got the
next
original
question,
back.
yeah.
I got the original painting back, and I sold that to a collector.
that's crazy.
But that's cool, you know.
Yeah, it's really cool.
What was really neat is when I was doing the photo poster, I had it delivered up to New York, up to the Marvel offices, and they took it in and said, "The face is a little off. Follow me." And we went into John Romita's office, and he took my painting and put a little piece of tracing paper over the face, kind of sketched Thor's face over to make it a little more square and that. I still have that little sketch that John Romita, like as an overlay, did on my painting.
That's neat.
That's crazy. Now, do you think that it was like, because with any like rights or anything, you have to change something by like what, like 2% to make it different for them? Do you think that maybe like the face was fine and they said that to maybe change it just a little bit so that they wouldn't have to give as much as they would if it was just? Well, I know with music you have to change at least. I think it's like Library of Congress says you have to change it by at least 2% to make it yours.
Right. I think they wanted it more in line with what the comic art looked like. So they wanted his face a little more angular, you know, more structured.
Because it was a painting originally, so
Yes.
it went more like a cartoon.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, it was an oil.
But when you eat those big turkey legs like the mythological, gods do, there's no way you're keeping that chiseled. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's no way. Trust me.
Dark meat son.
Yeah. Speaking of the chisel, all right.
Yes.
I mean, you're a guy that works out. I mean, you did work out. But we talked about back in the day, didn't you? Like gym-wise?
I used to, yes.
Oh, is he doing it anymore?
No, I'm not.
You're still pretty big.
15 years.
Yeah.
Well,
I would have guessed you had a daily regimen.
Yeah.
I swim now. I studied martial arts for 10 years, and I taught for a while. Martial arts was really good training. It really, really was. So,
Do you happen to drink Dos Equis beer?
No.
Is
Did
it
you really-
beer at all?
No.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, like if you would though, like I don't always drink beer.
But if I did,
Yeah,
Dos Equis.
it would be. You are by far the most interesting person I've come in contact with already.
Wow.
Martial
Wow,
arts,
he must
art.
Not, he must not know a lot of people.
I don't know. I've met a lot of people.
Yeah, 31.
Just sprung.
31, no spring chicken.
When you did have your workout, what kind of workout? What did you do? Like, was there any special tricks, workout tricks to gain mass that
Well,
people don't know?
I played ice hockey all my life till I was 40. I was a goaltender, and when I finally thought, okay, maybe it's time to quit, so I thought, well, what am I going to do now? So I just joined the gym and started bombing away and doing a lot of heavy weights and yeah, but
What's your bench record?
400.
Ah, damn it. So off mine. So much more.
Jeff said a sterling 520.
Yeah, 335.
A gentleman's.
335 I did was my record. 65 pounds would be fine. And you're a better sculptor.
And probably a better
We all,
swimmer.
we,
You
all,
started
we
with
all have our
Southbridge.
things we do.
Better goalie.
And you probably do your show better.
Yeah, we're gonna bring you. We're
Next
gonna
week,
bring in the next
week-
segment.
Next week, I'm gonna go to your house. We're gonna do like one of those swaps, and I'm gonna sculpt and paint. You're gonna come here and run the show and do eBay.
Wow.
I have a feeling yours is
great
gonna look like
omelet.
the ghost scene from Naked Gun. You know, like your sculpt scene. Is just everything's gonna go all over the place.
It's gonna be a mess. Now you were a customer of mine. This is how we met. I worked at Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. And what was your greatest Fat Jack's purchase?
Probably the Marvel Essentials, because I started reading comics in 1965, so I go way back with Marvel and DC, and it's like anything else. That the things that you enjoy and read when you're young, that becomes like, for instance, like with Marvel, like the Silver Age, the 60s and then the 70s, that becomes how you see comics. And when they came out with the Essentials, I mean, it was like reliving your childhood again in big, fat volumes.
What about those black and white books you're talking about?
Yeah.
Where it was like 800 pages and they were
Exactly.
like phone book paper.
Exactly,
They were
yeah,
like super thin,
yeah,
but black and
mhm.
white. Remember them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were cool.
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't look at them because the black and white threw me off. I was just like, I loved them, but I wish they
Yeah.
were in color. But
Well,
that
for
was so
me,
much more money.
it was like old friends.
Did you take them home and color them?
No.
Because that would have been great.
Yeah,
I still have them. I
You
still
could
have
probably
better
color
than they
them.
did originally, yeah.
them.
I think they're made for that.
yeah.
They're giant coloring books of your childhood. Have you seen those books? Did you know you saw
No.
them? They take entire volumes of like, I think it's like 20 or 30 issues, right?
Yes.
Like 20 or 30 issues, and it's a graphic novel. And it's like this thick, and it's written on like really thin paper, like almost like tissue
It's like
paper.
news, like the cheapest
Like newsprint. And it's printed in
Black
like,
and white?
Yeah, like the whole collection in black and white. Like you read like 30 issues. It's a great way to get caught up.
Absolutely.
What have you learned from, you have a son who's in the other room hiding right now.
Mhm.
Well, what have you learned from him? So there are a lot of times children learn things from their father, but what have you learned from your children?
I've learned patience and honesty and follow through and believing in yourself, and if there's something you want to do, you don't stop. You just, whatever it takes to do, you do whatever.
Like Metal Rolls TV?
Exactly.
Like the story I was telling you?
Yeah. Whatever sacrifices you have to make, you make them. That's what I learned from my children.
Okay. Now, if I remember, you're a little bit of a metalhead,
Yes.
right? And like, where did that come from? When did you discover it, and like, what are you into today?
Well, he's not metal, but I mean, I was weaned on Alice Cooper, and
I think he's still considered metal.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure,
Godfather.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
all right.
We're actually going to talk about him later.
Yeah.
There we are.
74 concert. This is the first time I saw him, and
Was it the Killers tour?
it was. Pardon me?
Was that the Killers tour? What was that?
Yes, Killers.
I don't recall.
And it was the storytelling that I liked about it. And then it just kind of went on, and I got older, and my son was born, and I always was playing all different kind of music, because my wife and my daughter are classic trained violinists and violists. They're both music teachers. So everything, there's not a genre in music that I dislike except for rap, but that's just not my dance, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, with I guess contemporary, it started with Metallica, and I remember I used to drive my son to preschool and blast and Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
Absolutely, he'll tell you about it. So, yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk more about that.
Okay.